The right chat.
Well,
I thought we were doing game chat because it's game day.
true, but I think that one's like locked if you're not given permission. So if someone wants to join us and contribute to the commentary, they're more than welcome to, except
That's fine.
not in that channel. So we're in this one, and we're here with coverage from the Green Baynana Grabbers versus the Carolina Pythoness. That's WOG's Dark Elf team, the Pythoness, and the Grabbers, of course, Gru's Simeon team. Looks like they brought along Furious George for the ride, as well
Oh
as
my.
Wizard. Alright. This is actually a pretty big game. One wouldn't think mere WOG could be so important, but in the NFC, this is actually fairly pivotal. Green
Yeah.
Baynana is 4-3-1 on the season, but that's only second in their division. No, wait, they're currently first in their division because Chicago's dropped a couple games recently. Regardless, NFC North is going to come down to the wire, it looks like, between those two teams. So this is important for Gru, but it's likewise important for WOG as he is 4-2-2, which is slightly, I mean, technically behind Atlatl, who's 4-2-1. So they're still needing to play their Week 8 game. So this is technically a Week 9 game. They're ahead, and there's a lot of teams that are behind this week. But either way, for division and wildcard standings, this is very, very important. So with me, we've got Astaflix currently. We've got Nomad in Twitch chat. We're going to have others join us, I imagine, throughout the adventure. So, Asti, what's you got any insight on this matchup? I know you're a Simeon master and probably a Dark Elf connoisseur of sorts. So, what do you
Yeah.
think this game's going to be like?
So the one thing I know is in any hybrid versus agility, I never want to be giving out a wizard as the agility
It's true.
for the very simple reason that if the hybrid like has good block dice, if I go down players early, I don't want to have to deal with an offense where I'm down players and also playing into a wizard.
Yeah, that's never fun. But face a wizard he will have to do. But when you have someone like Vin Riddick who just doesn't really give a damn what the opposition does for the most part,
Yeah.
movement 8, strength 4, agility 6 with tackle. There are a couple missing players as well, and it's fairly significant for
Yeah.
Green Baynana. There's Brandon Mello, one of my former players. He's losing some agility, but apparently recently he gained some strength, so I think that's a pretty good trade off.
Yep.
Davante Adams uh, needs little introduction. I think he's Defensive Player of the Year. He's the fan favorite. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves to hate him. Strength 5. He lost some movement recently. He has been potioned once before, but he's still a force with dodge, frenzy, sidestep, tackle, of course, wrestle. And then
Strength
there's, of
5.
course, yeah, I mean, strength 5, not bad. And, of course, the infamous Shaq Thompson is also missing the game, the block lineman for Carolina. So,
The very infamous.
yes. So infamous, I had never heard of him before this very moment. All right. So,
So one thing I'll say about WOG's team is it has depth, which only like NBFL Dark Elf team have.
true.
It's
15 players.
so yeah, it's so fat. Every player, you know,
Got some stats. What's his current TV? He's at 2650, which is pretty meaty, but it's not like overly bloaty. We've seen some 2800 to 3000 TV teams in this league for better or for worse.
yeah.
Uh,
My own Norse once got to 2500,
oh my goodness. What are they rocking nowadays?
like 2K.
Okay.
They're 2200 now, which is pretty high.
I saw your game versus Go Trick. It looked like you had some chances to really take hold of it in the second half, and you just kept rolling pushes on your ball blitzes. So
Don't tell me about it. Don't tell me
that
about it.
that had to be a bit disappointing, but
I was talking with the commish about the game, and he was like, "Wow, that's almost as worse as my 3-0 loss, and you tied." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I got lucky though.
maybe. You know what they
All
say.
right, opening
Sometimes,
blocks
sometimes better be lucky than good.
for sure.
And we'll see if Joseph Broadnax is good, or if Levi Carson can be Carlson can be lucky.
So
What's going on here?
one thing I don't.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
nice kill.
Punished has been taken out.
Killed. Yeah.
I didn't want to say punished again. That just seems like...
Too gratuitous, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about Wog is I don't understand his willingness to be blocking down Broadnax, but not use the Strength 4 guy. He's like, I have Dauntless, so I'm gonna use Dauntless, god
Strength
damn it.
3 versus Strength 6. I mean, it's gonna work most of the
like-
time, probably.
Yeah, but instead of doing that, you can just do the exact same sequence, but also have a Strength 4 hits. You don't have to roll Dauntless.
That's true.
Nah.
I don't know. Witch Elves are weird because you want to use them like this on the line of scrimmage, but there's so many matchups like this where there's a Strength 6 Silverback right in the middle, and it just like messes everything up. Granted, having Strength 4 and 1 Witch is very nice, and Dauntless works every time, so I mean, the other one's going to be just fine.
That's the thing, though. If you want, you can get a 1 die at worst by putting 2 guys on Broadnax, but then you're still rolling the Dauntless.
What's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah, tell that to my turn 1 Skull, which I think was against, Baz. I misread my guard because I have too many this season, so I just 1D blocked his guard with my Treeman turn 1.
Nice. How'd that go?
I rolled a Skull and I lost the game like 3-0. Because I had no game after that.
You win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of winning some, Baz 6-1-0 so far. His team has been on a tear after winning the Super Bowl. I guess it was the shot of confidence they needed or something, but damn.
Man, Wood Elves are really tough to deal with. I say this being completely unable to play them myself. What is this? I don't understand why. Why are you putting your Witch Elf if you're not going to block?
He's not as confident in Dauntless as you are, I guess. And he's not confident in that pickup by Delhomme. Unfortunate.
So why are you not blocking down Broadnax?
You're going to bait him into Quad Skulls.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
That's the plan. Nomad asking about Ape Stars, and I am not super familiar with them either, but for 170k, you're getting Furious George, who not only has a great name, but he's catch, dodge, extra arms, pass block, strip ball, and wrestle. So he's essentially a defensive force. Movement 7, extra pickup ability, extra interception ability, decent sacker. I mean, he can do some things, I suppose.
That was a surf. That was a turn 1 surf, but Gru rolled POWs. But that was a turn 1 surf with no blitz.
Unfortunate. Yes.
I think was pretty, what's the term in English? Like, not sheltered, but flustered, yeah. He's pretty flustered.
It's early, you're facing Gru. It's a big game. We're doing commentary for it, so, you gotta get the jitters out sometimes.
Exactly. Now, one thing I'll also say is, if you have Riddick, why is he in the back line, like, not picking up the ball, just chilling as a blocker?
It's one of those things where it's hard to find a balance of keeping him safe and keeping him active. And so if you have him near the ball, if Gru or anybody else gets a shot on Delhomme, you've got a break glass in case of emergency player right there. You can dump off to him. You can go pick it up on a scatter. You can blitz off just about anybody who tags the ball carrier. As Fred Abbott lives for another turn at least, it looks like.
I would have re-rolled that as Gru.
Yeah, but you would re-roll anything.
I would?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a POW. POW. No need to re-roll that. That's a death. That's not
incorrect.
Okay, well, it's coming. It's coming. One of those two players, either Broadnax or Levi, will be dead by game's end. Calling it now.
I'll take you on that bet.
All right.
I mean, knowing Gru. Didn't Broadnax die 3 times and got apo'd every time?
He's maybe been a little fortunate. Who knows?
Yeah.
He played all of 4 turns of a championship game against me once, but the other players managed to pick up the slack and inflict 7 casualties. It was Not a fun time for lizards at
That's the
least.
problem when you face hybrid teams. Sometimes the hybrid just bash you out, and
Yeah,
it's not fun.
it does not.
Like I just played a game. It was Skavens versus Pro Elves.
Okay.
Two very resistant teams who are known for their resistance.
And
And yeah, my Skavens got pretty lucky with
oh,
the.
oh, are we getting a gang foul here? No, we're not.
Who was Gru gonna foul with?
I don't know.
Furious George?
Furious George, I guess. I thought I saw one of the other players free, but I think that little icon was darkened out. But I just assumed. I mean, it looked like a good opportunity there. Oh well.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Gru doesn't foul. That's it. That's the end of the
Okay, I
commentary.
was like, you kind of left open to interpretation, but
Yeah. The reason Gru doesn't foul, and this is more of a commentary on the other hybrid slash bash coaches in this league, is
fouling is bad.
sometimes it's not fouling is bad, is sometimes the risk isn't worth it. Like what's his name? I had a guy, so I was playing like a random team. Oh yeah, I was like playing orcs against Cavens, right?
Okay.
It's 11 versus 11, and the guy turn one fouls one of my orc linos with one of his Caven linos.
Not worth it.
And I'm like, if we both get sent off, I'm more likely to like Kaz you and knock you out, so then you're just gonna be down like a higher propensity of players.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna foul something on an orc team, it better be a blitzer or a bob.
I got people fouling my troll, and I was like, what?
Yeah, foul the AV9 regenerating player. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people in this league this season foul Baz's tree.
Was it you?
No.
Okay.
No, I was rolling skulls against Baz's tree.
Okay. You couldn't even get a chance to foul it, unfortunately.
Exactly. I also don't have DPs this season, so
That's
I
true.
fouled
You
like
took
3 times.
you took frenzy on everybody instead.
Yeah.
How has that gone for you playing?
Okay,
Corn
real
Lady?
talk. It's bad. Let's be honest, but it's not as bad as my current record would tell you.
And according to this chart, your current record is 2-4-2, which I mean is the exact same as my record, but I'm not handicapping myself by taking all frenzy. So I mean, maybe you're still competitive.
Oh yeah, and for sure still competitive. There's just some games that I've had recently where the wheels fell off the train, so to say. Like against GoTrek where, you know,
Yeah,
stuff went bad.
not much went right there.
Man, Gru's really good at isolating players. I say this after a while, just hits the 3+.
Why did he not go the other way for the two?
I don't know.
I mean, you would have
Why
failed
is
on
he
a one either
rerolling
way.
this?
Probably because he doesn't want Levi to get fouled, even though Dash in the Twitch chat suggests that Gru might be the only coach in the league to not foul the Witch on that previous play.
I used diving tackle there. Oh.
Maybe that's what he wanted you to do.
Wait, what? Oh, I read that wrong.
Yeah, he
I
has
thought
diving
he had.
tackle, but not tackle, so.
Yeah, I thought he had actually like failed one of his dodges before, and he used it. Yeah, no.
Poor Dash. Dash on this season is 1-5-2, which, I mean, I'm imagining that no one's enjoying playing your Chaos Dwarves, but they're just not losing to them as they have been in the past. So,
Man, people have lost games to Dash's Chaos Dwarves. Never me.
ouch. The team that had been winning and then is on a recent slide is Chicago. So, Nomad, if you're still in the chat, just let us know how you think your first full season has been going so far. I know you lost a mummy recently, which was a pain, but got off to a good start. We'll see if you can
Didn't he
hold
lose
up.
like a superstar ghoul turn like 5 of game 1?
Look, there is no such thing as a superstar ghoul. They're living on borrowed time. Whether they have 0 SPPs or 300.
Yeah.
Nomad saying he's lost 3 key players so far this season. Unfortunate.
I fondly remember playing against a movement 8 Strength 4, Edge 4, like dodge, sure hand school in a major with my orcs.
That sounds like a pretty good one.
I put a DT on it turn 1, it killed itself diving turn 2. And I was like, nice.
Why was it trying to dodge away?
Because I put my DT on him, and he was like, oh, it was like a blodge DT kind of player.
Right.
He was like, I'm just gonna hit the 4 plus, and then he didn't, and then his ghoul died, and then he flamed me for the rest of the match in the chat.
Damn.
And I was like, why did you let me put your DT on your best ghoul turn 1?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Speaking of DTs, if I'm Gru, I'm blitzing the Thunder Roll. Oh,
Oh, he's
never
gonna
mind.
blitz Levi again.
That's Fred Abbott.
Oh, that's right. Levi got dodged through to the
Yeah.
back. But now Broadnax can foul Fred Abbott here, so.
More like
No?
he
Well,
got
oh well.
dodged, grew the back.
Ah,
Thank you. I'll be here all night.
not if we kick you out. But anyways.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by the orangutans being movement 5.
Do you expect
Why
them
are
to
they
be
movement?
6?
Yeah, like the bonobos.
They got the big chonker arms. It makes they only go for arm day. They don't go to leg day, so they're a little bit slower.
Yeah, Gru doesn't have a DP.
No. He may have had one early, but with bonobos, they're not long for the world apparently.
Exactly.
Oh, is he trapping the player or is he fouling the player?
He's trapping it.
No, he's fouling it. Oh, I was wrong.
It's Gru. Gru never fouls.
It's not never, probably.
Can you name me one time where you remember Gru fouling?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got me there. This is one of those tricky. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna look at Gru's like stats. I'm gonna see how many fouls he's got, but
I'm sure there's one somewhere. But this is one of those tricky things as Dark Elves to where you're not super fast to where you can score in 3 turns. Not that you want to per se, but how safe do you feel dragging this drive out where you could be wizarded at any time? You've got someone like Furious George who can get in there and potentially sack the ball. You got a bunch of diving tackle, mighty blow, gorillas and apes and stuff, and it's a bit of a
I mean
conundrum.
I'm fast scoring if I'm Dark Elves.
Even if it's not the most optimal play, perhaps?
I think if you ask our commissioner Bazakasti, uh, long may his reign be, he'll say that Dark Elves, especially at high TV, are really good at defense.
This should be, yeah.
Like especially with Vin Riddick. And if you're not playing Dark Elves with the idea of trying to stop like a hybrid or a Bastion on offense, you're going to run into some troubles.
True. In theory, I've wanted to play my frogs a bit like that, to where we score in like 3 to 4 turns and then trust our defensive abilities to make it difficult for the opponent to score in the half, and maybe I get a turnover and score and really put them behind the 8 ball. But frogs are a little different than Dark Elves, to where my offense is not very reliable or consistent, so it's been a bit of a struggle for me so far. Oh, Nomad stating that Gru has fouled him in 2 different games, in fact.
Gru's got 2 fouls, 1 for each of you.
Furious George taking on Vin Riddick. Didn't go very well for Mr. George, but stays on the field for now. Gru fouls turns 7 and 8 if it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, if there's a single ball carrier in range, sometimes you got to take them down the old-fashioned way. Potential fireball here. You get 3 players, but I'm not sure it's totally worth it.
So one thing that I'll say is generally Zap is way better against elves. Fireball is more like a Fireball's a win more type of deal where it either goes really well and
or
it
does
makes me
nothing.
lose it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing a tabletop tournament where it's 5 games, but you can use a wizard once per game in the tournament.
Okay.
Sorry, once per tournament. I played 5 games there. My end record was 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses, and I got used the wizard against me 4 times
Wow.
out of a field of like 10 players.
Oh, this is technically a foul action, but diving tackle looks like it works this time. Okay.
I'd let him foul Furious George if that was his intention.
Yeah, I mean, a movement 7 block player is kind of expensive, but he's not super vital, perhaps.
I mean, again, who's more likely to run out of players this game? If you answer
I mean, I guess I'd say
apes,
Wog, but I mean, he's got 15, Gru's got 15. Gru's
yeah, but the
players, some
difference
of them are
between
AV7, but Gru's got more Mighty Blow in theory, so I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I'm always thinking like, look at the Dark Elves bench. Those are pretty like boring players. Gru's got one really good player on the bench.
Yeah, the
So
Aaron
if,
Jones, the part-time player, only does offense, it seems.
yeah, so he gets paid for the full game.
Yeah, not a bad way to make a living.
Kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Well,
Got him, I guess.
I don't know. If I'm Gru, I'm definitely thinking about putting Broadnax right against the ball and saying, "Okay, have fun."
I mean, if he had tentacles or something, I would love that play. Just like blitzing right through Ricky Prohl and putting
Yeah,
him right on
I
top
mean,
of Delhomme, but he does not,
I
unfortunately.
Gru's gorillas are really out of place,
They are.
unfortunately.
I'm not sure going into the game missing one, he was ever going to be able to really corral the elves, especially missing one and Davante. I mean, those
Yeah,
Davante's obviously your defensive queen, essentially, of the chessboard, and missing one of the gorillas is not ideal. Essentially, he's just going to have to force Wog to score before turn 5 or 6 and give himself a chance to score before the half, really.
yep.
So while he ponders his move, has there been a division race besides your own that you've kept your eye on or been interested in this season?
Nope.
Okay.
I've been focused on trying to claw, Baz's ankles.
Well, that hasn't worked, so we'll take a look at some of the division races. Your AFC South sees Baz sitting there at 45 points. He is missing a game while the rest of you have 8. You're tied with GoTrek for 26, so technically within range, but a wild card is more likely.
Yeah.
AFC West is pretty jumbled up right now. Every team is either 3-1-4, 2-1-4, and Tijuana is 3-1-3 with a game to play as well. So pretty even so far. The AFC East has probably been the surprise so far of the season. Miami being 5-0-2 is not a surprise. We expected Rel to be doing very well as usual, but Wolves with his double bull centaurs of doom, they needed some growth, and Broadnax was going for a big swing there, it looks like, but couldn't get it. He's 3-3-1. Bulls have developed, and one of them finally has blocks, so at least one of them does.
Both of them put block.
They both do now? Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah. One's blodge plus edge plus edge plus strength. The other is block plus edge plus edge plus MA plus MA.
Okay, so they're not totally useless, and the team's doing fine. Jeffro pulled out a big win the other day. I think he beat Rel, correct?
Yeah, he beat Rel like 5-2, and I don't know, or like 5-3. I don't know how that happened.
I was not there either, but he's
Okay.
2-2-4 now, perhaps getting his team together. And then, arguably the surprise of the season, Ryan Fitz with his Brewmore Gents, I believe, 4-2-1, 34 points, so right behind Rel's 35. The low TV Dwarves with the team that didn't have enough guard, according to Baz, and didn't make a lot of sense on paper is somehow whooping all of our butts, including mine. So it's
Yeah.
been a fun season so far for Ryan Fitz.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's a pretty good coach, not to be underestimated.
Appears so. AFC North has been pretty competitive as well. Unfortunately, Dutch and the Kemry have not been. They're 1-1-5, but Kazarik with his Super Elves are 4-2-1. Not bad for a rookie team. Malcour's 3-2-2. They were the veteran favorites going in, and Baltimore is 2-2-4, so not quite out of it, but we'll see if Uber can keep pace. I believe Cleveland and Bleaksburg are scheduled for next Tuesday for their rematch.
Yeah, isn't Bleaksburg Sark's Dark Elves?
Correct.
Yeah, switching off the Orcs after that season.
After
Oh my
I
god!
watched the clip like 4 times the other day of what's his name, Egad's dying. That was amazing.
Yeah, with me being like, Jamon's just going to give up and hit Egads and kill him, and then
It happens
happens.
10 seconds later. Yeah, that was amazing. Apparently, Dash was watching the game between Rel and Jeffro, and Rel was allegedly more interested in going for the TD record, and Jeffro played well, and the Rats scored a lot, but not enough apparently. So we'll see if that has any lingering effect this season. On the NFC side of things, we already briefly looked at the NFC South, where this Carolina team resides. Wogs 4-2-2, so he's right in step with Atlatl. Nelfing's Lizards are 4-2-1. Nolans is not important; they're 1-0-6, and Archaeans 1-2-4, so he's relegated to the minors as well next season. NFC West saw some change mid-season as Menno had to step away for real life, so his 5-1-1 record all of a sudden just doesn't matter anymore.
And K9.
K9 came in as a replacement, and despite literally picking from the bottom of the barrel of what players are left, he managed to draw in his first game, so whoever he drawed must be really fucking embarrassed because they're probably trash.
Oh my god.
It was me.
If I didn't know any better, I was gonna say, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was you, but
Yeah. No, he played well. He got a rather fortunate score at the end of the first half where I had punted the ball after a sack, so it's back on like column 3, and he got it all the way into the end zone with some skink to skink action, so very well.
That's what we call skills.
Yeah, very well played by him, but we'll see what his new Lizard team can do. San Val, Nico's Necro team, they got some new players this season, finally getting rid of all their unhealthy ones. 3-0-4, so not perfect, but still in the race. Stim, perhaps a disappointing 3-3-2. His High Elves have not been quite up to par so far, but I guess he would technically have the division lead. And Arizona also hanging around at 3-0-4. That's another Chaos Dwarf team, if memory serves. NFC East has not been very good overall. OTS and Dallas are 2-4-1 at 26 points. Gark got a big win, I think, earlier this week, so he's 3-2-3 at 27 points. Fool at 1-0-6. His High Elves not doing that well, but neither's New York at 2-4-2 at 26 points, so 3 teams with similar point totals in that division. Lastly, of course, we've got the NFC North. This Green Baynana team 4-3-1. Looks like Gru taking out a elf there.
Yep.
Very nice.
I mean, that's the problem with Dark Elves. If you're scared of defense, you're going to run out of time to actually execute a good defense.
True. Manglasota 1-1-5, not super surprising. Destroy 1-5-2 is surprising, but I still wouldn't count Dash out this early. There's still, 6 weeks to go? It's got room to improve for sure. Chicago 5-0-3. We'll see if Nomad can't keep the team going after a strong start and some player losses. But looks like Wog's done really what he wanted to so far this half. He's only lost 1 player to injury, and then it just happened, so we'll see if he can't punch a hole through Chase Garbers perhaps and make his way to the middle of the field, or if he stalls in the corner further. No, looks like he's going for old Furious George. Fred's going to get wrestled down. Then I guess you bring Ethan over, put an assist on Broadnax, and then use Dauntless and knock him over and kill him. Or you walk into the end zone. Okay. Touchdown for Carolina. Halfway through the first half.
I don't like this.
I think stalling's perhaps better, but since you're not a super fast team, having the 3 turns to potentially score on defense is nice. You don't have to take the first person that's free on turn 7 and send them downfield and maybe even have to GFI to get in scoring range. You at least have a little bit of breathing room.
I mean, I'll also say, like, if you're not scoring on turn 3, at this TV, teams don't really need time to set up a score. Like, all the teams are gonna have an edge 4 guy. All the teams are gonna have like some decent ability to get the ball down the pitch.
It's true.
And so, in my eyes, the best way to set up a defense, like 5 turns. You want to have 5 turns of defense.
So you're saying you either want to score on turn 3 or turn 8 is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, because or like turn 4 is fine too. But the problem with scoring on turn 4 is, like, I'm scoring on turn 4. I have 4 turns of defense, and my opponent has 5 turns of offense.
That's true.
While if you're receiving, you have 8 turns of offense, and the guy has 7 turns of offense. But if he stops your score, he has the possibility of scoring where you don't.
Okay, it's a fair point. Bunch of linos up front, going to be met by the gorillas. Witch elf on each side. Vin in the middle.
Because yeah, the problem when you have like a limited amount of defense is I can force you in a situation where, let's say I get a stun on turn 1.
Okay.
Suddenly, I can basically forget about that player for the rest of the half. Right? It's going to be your turn 6. He's going to stand up on your turn 7. The only moment where he can really be active is on turn 8. And by turn 8, it's already decided.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be in scoring range. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if I stun you on turn, like, on the opening block, that player won't be affecting the defense at all.
Looks like Aaron Jones has woken from his slumber, emerges on the field to lead the offense.
Perfect defense, good though.
Yep, gets your guys out of harm's way for the most part.
Absolutely. And a bit like vaccines, when you get perfect defense, it really, make you better at defending against outside threats.
Okay. Nod my head to that one, I guess. Does Wog need to change his backline defense? Should he spread the field more? Should he?
Yes.
I've never liked this style of defense. I've used it some when I have, say 5 players I want to protect. But I think I like the one Gru had to start, where you just have the kind of wing formation with the 2 outside, and it's 2 more in the middle.
If you're setting up to defend your players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to set that defense up when the guy has 8 turns of offense to go, not 5?
I suppose.
Also, this is bad. The columns are a lot better here. You don't want to be doing that offset because you're already offsetting to the north. So you're going to have like 2 guys defending the south.
Well, we'll see how he finishes the setup here. I mean, maybe he wants to draw him to the south and then have the Witch Elves get over there next turn, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, half my team's about to be surfed. It's like I'm facing Astaflix and his Norse.
Hey, I have a trademark on surf. Every time you surf someone, I get a nickel.
Okay.
Anyways,
Speaking of teams that surf, what do you think about the new corn roster in 2020?
oh boy, don't get me started on that.
It
I
looks
hate it.
fun. Oh,
I think it's incredibly like short-sighted in its design, and I'm gonna play like 200 games off it on release.
what do you not like about it?
Okay, the Warriors are overcosted by a lot.
What
They're
are
110k, and they have Frenzy versus the normal Chaos Warrior that doesn't. Except
what's their cost though? Like 100 or they still
110k,
no for like a warrior.
100k.
So you okay?
So they're 10k more expensive than a regular Chaos Warrior, and you're getting Frenzy for minus AG.
Yeah, I don't mind it per se.
Okay, let me repeat. They're 10k more expensive
Yeah,
for minus AG and Frenzy.
I like frenzy, and you don't generally want the AG to do anything. Hold up. Do you like Chaos Warrior ball carriers? You seem like a man of culture.
Yeah, I don't do that,
Okay, so why
but I
does the
do
AG
recognize
matter?
because in a redraft league, how are you gonna get a ton of SPPs on your Warriors?
I'm assuming you're going to throw a block every single turn with them.
That's the wrong thing because their rerolls are 70k, and you have no block or brawler.
Damn the torpedoes.
Yeah,
I think we're basically just going to rehire the Warriors, or whatever they're called, and redraft everybody else, sans maybe like one ball carrier. Because
sure.
the Blitzer guys come with Juggernaut out the box, right? So they're basically just good from the start, or usable at least.
Something like
I
that.
mean,
Except who you gonna carry on?
I don't know. Or
The
closest,
the
I guess.
the AV7 Pit Fighter?
Yeah, why not?
They're AV7.
Well, you just
And you're
protect
playing
them.
a
You just protect them, and they don't get hit. I guess.
okay. Then you're exposing your your corn gores, which are your Juggernaut guys that don't have defensive
Oh,
abilities
they're
at
the
all.
ones that have Juggernaut. Okay, so 70k for the Corn Gores. Their Horns Juggernaut, pretty standard.
Yeah, which is
Um,
good.
yeah, but you only have four of them, and you need them to be
Yeah,
your like sweeper defensive guys. Your
yeah.
so
Like I
I don't
was
think I want to turn one into a ball carrier. That's the issue I had with Blood Bowl 2016 Corn in the NBFL. It hurt only having three of them available basically.
well, yeah. Also, your corn gores are plus MA.
Wait, are they moving seven now? Oh, they're
Yeah, they're
moving.
movement 7.
Says moving six on here.
It does.
I'm looking at the Blood Bowl 2020 Corn setup page. It could be wrong. It's still a work in progress on this page, but
Yeah, I really thought they were like MA8, sorry, MA7.
if it's seven, that's actually very nice. Because that was also obviously a huge weakness with the team, being just slow as dirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look. So, Blood Bowl on team.
There was a forum that had it, and then I think I posted in the chat once or twice, but
Oh no, they're MA6. You're right.
aw.
You're right. You're right. Okay,
I'm
so
not sure I like this move, because now you're marked by tackle, but it doesn't matter if you just roll well, I guess.
yeah, I mean, just don't roll ones.
Basically. Well, yeah, your pit fighters, your basic ass guys, except they're AV7 now with Frenzy. 50k is relatively cheap. I think that's what they were
Expensive.
before. The
Okay,
blood,
let me put it this way, right?
yeah.
Your pit fighters are hobgoblins with frenzy for 10k more.
Hmm.
Now, if you could have frenzy on your hobgoblins for free, would you take it?
Nope.
Exactly.
What about this blood spawn though? I mean, he comes with claw, frenzy, and mighty blow, which is
Yeah,
interesting, but I don't think they stack the way they used to. Correct?
correct. So if you use claw, you gotta roll an 8 now. So they still like have some amount of conjunction. Because like if you roll in, let's say you're fighting against a AV8 guy, right?
Okay.
You have claw mighty blow. If you roll an 8, then you can use mighty blow on the injury instead of using the mighty blow on the armor.
Okay. So it's still good, but it's just not as like simple and
It's
stupid?
way less strong.
Okay, good, because it's just dumb. I hate claw so much.
So, okay, you're not ready to talk about this, but the real culprit's Mighty Blow, not Claw.
In like current Blood Bowl or
Oh, just in design. Like, if you're looking at the things, if you remove Mighty Blow from the game, right?
Mhm.
Current Claw is just bad. Like, Claw's not good.
I mean, it's good against my Sorai, which I absolutely hate.
Yeah, not if you don't have Mighty Blow behind it.
Perhaps it's still not useless, but
Eh,
regardless, discussion for another time, perhaps. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the roster's not as like great as I'd hoped for, but
Okay.
compared to the 2016 one, I'm very happy to have the four Warriors or
So I'll say
Warrior
this,
variants.
and you're gonna hate me for this.
I mean, I hate you already, so go ahead.
Yeah. This is the worst corn roster for starting TV there has ever been. And it's also maybe the only roster in Blood Bowl that has a negative win expectation versus every other roster.
Hmm. Are we talking
So
like
I
low TV or just in general?
starting TV.
Oh, I don't care about starting TV. Low TV Blood
Like
Bowl is there a nice way to put this? It's AIDS, and I think it should just be skipped entirely, honestly.
okay,
But
okay.
regardless, I don't know. Once you get the team through a season or two, and you
Reroll
get a
that Gru.
you get a
You
feel for
gotta if
them,
you want to punch through. You have to reroll this Gru.
yeah,
You have to.
punch through its face. Aw.
But anyways, uh,
I'll give him the old
yeah,
college try. I think I'll enjoy him a little bit, but
your 70k rerolls, man.
yeah, that is quite pricey.
Also, the really funny thing, if you want to start with four warriors, right?
Mhm.
That's 440k.
I think I would start with two.
That's insane. You're insane. If you start with two warriors, just play chaos. And start with four, three rerolls, and like seven beastmen.
Yeah, Beastmen are boring. They don't allow frenzy.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I might go frenzy first on all the corn gores, just to prove a point.
That frenzy and Juggernaut is the best skill combination in the game. You are absolutely correct.
Best skill? Okay, it's definitely
I mean, it's not
better than
Blodge,
people think
but
it is. Yeah, exactly.
nothing's Blodge. That's
I mean,
just
Blodge not
broken.
as good against tackle than Juggernaut Frenzy is,
Hmm.
right? If the entire team is human lineman with tackle and nothing else, I'd rather have Frenzy Juggernaut than Blodge.
I suppose that would be true in that rare case.
I mean, who doesn't play against 11 human linemen with tackle?
Yeah, you're right. What was I thinking?
Exactly.
All right. Looks like Gru here's got his ball relatively midfield, relatively in the middle, so he can go left, right, down, backwards, wherever he chooses.
Oh, I thought you were inputting the Konami code.
Oh no. We're not using cheat codes yet.
Yeah. I asked the comment. She told me it was $10 on PayPal. Or anyways, another thing I'm kind of worried about in this game is if Wag plays this well, I don't think Gru scores. And if Gru doesn't score,
It'll be tough
then
in
we
the
can,
second half.
yeah, because in the second half you're gonna have to score.
One would think, it could be a long-term strategy where he tries to tank his seeding and play
Yeah.
Nelfine in the playoffs and then win that game automatically, of course.
Shots,
Too,
shots fired.
too soon? No, but if you get a nice double stack going, you just blitz Furious George, who you kind of have to, but it's also kind of what Guru wants you to do.
Yeah.
But you've already used two players, so they won't be. You have three players? Is Levi moved yet? Yeah. No. I can't tell. That's weird. Regardless, you want to have as many free players as possible to double stack pretty much across the board here. Force Screw to the bottom, collapse on him next turn, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Looks like Wog pondering his move here. I mean, you almost have to blitz Furious George, right?
Yeah.
I've got a question, I suppose, now that I'm like staring at Broadnecks. Is having a big like that worth it in this league? You know, you either trade up or just draft one that's, you know, super sexy with block, guard, stand firm, tackle, and strength and all this stuff. Or is it just better just get one with guard and stand firm and be done with it?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Is it worth using resources, whether it's a draft pick or a bunch of TV, on a big like Broadnecks and all these other bigs in the league that have block, guard, stand firm, tackle, strength, and all the fun stuff? Or is a simple two skill big still just a better way to go?
So I traded back for my block Mighty Blow Yeti.
I mean, the Yeti is a little bit of a special case because any
Yeah.
big in the draft with Mighty Blow like is literally useless to anybody except Norse. This is a bold move.
And
here.
Corn. Haha.
I suppose that's true.
But the one thing I'll say about bigs is, man, bigs are really bad like 18% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, they're just the worst. And if you're drafting a player with the intention of only getting like 82% of his draft value, then that's no good.
I suppose.
Like, I don't care how good Broadnax is. I'd trade him for like a plus edge, sure hands like Bonobo anytime.
Okay. But
And
you would still have
yeah,
one on the
team
roster
creation.
and just have like guard stand firm on it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in BB 2020, I'm not going to take block on any of my big guys ever.
It'd be easier to do now though, right? Because you can pick block with enough SPPs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going guard stand for him, then I'm not picking anything else.
That's usually what I like doing with my Croc scores, for example.
Yeah. I mean, Croxigors need three things: guard, stand firm, and pro.
I like Pro.
Yeah, pro now is really good. It's 3 plus.
Is
So,
it always a 3+, or is there a 3+ Pro and a 4+ Pro?
it's a 3 plus pro that you're picking.
But it's a 4+ that's built in on some players, I think, or am I
I
imagining
have
something else?
no idea what your question is.
Okay, I think I'm referring to something else then.
Yeah.
Loner, I think?
There's 3 plus loner and there's 4 plus loner.
I think that's what I'm thinking of then. Okay.
But pro is always 3 plus.
Currently it's 4+ and 16, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a huge change, goddamn.
It's better now. And by better, I mean better.
Alright, so Wog, I guess I'm okay with his defensive setup. I didn't love that turn. You spent your blitz on a Blodge Gorilla, who doesn't really matter in terms of scoring in 2 turns. You didn't blitz Furious George. You did mark him, but I don't know. You've got a fair amount of guys here.
Gru has one way to open the position, but it requires getting POW on the Witch Elf.
Well, he's got tackle on the Gorilla, unless you're thinking he needs to use tackle from Benny.
No. I mean, like, you need to roll a POW, whether it is POW or POW push on the Witch Elf. If you roll pushes, your hole just like closes.
Well, there's your POW on the Witch.
Yeah.
Speaking into existence, apparently.
Oh, that was bad, Gru. You need to put it one more up the top because you're gonna block that.
It was sidestep. He didn't have a choice. Oh wait, he has
no.
grab.
I mean, yeah. Because now you're gonna have to like, you can't make a hole in the way like I would have wanted him to.
Yeah, because at just first glance you're like, oh, I'm just gonna blitz the top guy with my tackler and create a gap, but he's probably gonna sidestep down and really muck up the spacing, and you're definitely not fast enough to get like half your team up there, and it's turn 7. So, oh, that's not great. But reroll barely works. Where's our ball carrier going, and who's going to be in scoring range next turn? Is my question.
Oh, it's going to be the ball carrier that's going to be in scoring range, but
2, 3,
because he can reach
5,
the 8.
6.
Yeah.
He can reach 8, but
I mean, it's where you need to reach, you know?
yeah, I mean, it's not
The only
bad, I
problem
guess.
I have is Vin Riddick.
Is he going to be the only guy in scoring range?
No, Furious George.
Well, Furious George is being taken down next turn by Wog.
No, because
Oh, he's
he
not
can
even
dodge.
getting him in scoring range.
Oh, that's insane.
I mean,
Me no
technically,
likey.
Devin still, the gorilla's in scoring range, technically. And I guess Mr. Garbers is now, too.
And Wog didn't put anyone in scoring range, so Group can just try to force a score.
True. Oh.
I mean, I would have timed him out.
Not sure it would have changed much, but okay.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, what does Wog have to do here? He needs to take down Furious. He needs to take down Garbers, and then the only other player in range is technically Devin still, so. Okay, that's not great, but it's not bad. Push him into Riddick. Riddick can take him down. Probably. Probably need an assist still. Could dodge Mr. Mills around. Tag Furious. Well, you know, just stand up on jump up and get a POW on a blodger. That's nice. Free up 2 players. The problem is the way this is going, Wog's kind of blocked himself off from getting a blitz on Garbers, and he may not even have players free to get down to the sideline. I think you may need to take Riddick and blitz here, take down George, and then work him down to the corner so he's below your runner, and then double stack a tackle behind him. And then probably put another tackle near the blitzer Ethan Thunder, so you cover the gap right around here and cover down here. But we'll see.
All right. Well, let me ask you this,
I
XCon.
don't love that because you kind of block Riddick from leaving, but he didn't blitz with him anyways.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay. There's one play I see for Gru.
Oh, well, Furious George won't be playing next game for this team apparently.
Yeah. I hate what Wog just did. It's the easiest thing in the world to go through.
Yeah,
Like you hand off to Chase Garber,
yeah.
then you just hit Levy Carson with like anyone.
So,
He doesn't have sidestep.
it's
You
true.
have gorillas.
Yeah, I think Wog really needed a double stack here at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, first we're going to open our turn blocking with Broadnax after setting up a 3-die. And then we
of
use
course.
Hot Pants and block Peppers.
Oh, come on, time him out.
Unless
It's a free
he
score if you do.
unless he moves.
Also, he needs to dodge out that top guy, John Casey.
Okay.
That's the guy he needs to dodge out. And like double stack with the witch.
Yeah.
So in chess, there's this idea that if you see a tactic being played enough times, you're gonna feel when it's about to be played, right?
Okay.
So, oh, my queen is lined up with his rook. That's probably bad, right? Well, if you have a single if you have a single column in your defense, that's probably bad.
An alarm
This is
bell
still
should be
bad.
sounding. Yeah, you have to GFI here.
Yeah. I mean, even if you GFI, that's bad. Because now on a knockdown, you have a yeah.
But it's better than it was 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. I mean, Gru's just playing. It's not actually harder.
Huh. I don't think he would have
This
used
is
diving tackle either way.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is a nothing ball. I mean, okay, it's -1 to
It's
catch, but
actually. Well, it's still a 2 thanks to extra arms, which is very convenient.
yeah,
But it's actually kind of an awkward setup for Gru because his tackle gorilla needs to be the one to blitz, but he also needs someone to go tag the runner. And based on his current position, he won't be able to do
oh,
that.
it does need to be the tackle one to blitz. There's another way you can go about it.
Well, I suppose you don't have to take her down, you just have to push her, so.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is so
Wizard!
Gru has grab, right?
Also true.
You know. And you can do a lot of funky things with grab.
You can also use the wizard here and just fireball this whole group.
I would hate that. That would be a waste.
Yeah, but if you kill one of these two AV7 players, the
Yeah,
crowd
you're right.
the crowd would love you.
I mean, the only thing this really adds is a 3+. It's a 2+ handoff, 2+ dodge, 3+ dodge, and 2+ dodge. Right? That's
Yeah,
what
I mean
see.
it's doable. So taking still, putting up against all the dark elves, you take hot pants and blitz the witch, and all you need is a push per se.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you want to use dodge.
Yeah. If you don't use dodge, I'm, coming to your house.
Gonna catch these hands.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then we walk over, hand off to Garbers. 2+ dodge, 3+ dodge, 2+, 2+. Oh, maybe that was a 3. So
Yes, it's 2, 3, 3, 2 for
Yeah.
the dodges.
plus a 2+ handoff. So
Yeah, but the 2+ handoff.
it'll work 100% of the time, 50% of the time, guaranteed. Like that.
So you need to have him like one deeper, the lino.
Yeah. Or you should have done a better double stack with tackle.
Yeah.
Regardless, it is now 1-1 at the half, and we are an hour in for some godforsaken reason, so.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be done after like 90 minutes. I got this, thing I'm supposed to do tonight.
What's her name?
Yeah, literally, right? Yeah. She's this feisty Italian with a great smile. And
that's what got you, her personality.
Suspicious taste in friends.
Yeah, well,
by suspicious I mean me, because goddamn.
Yeah, it is Astaflix, but It
Yeah.
is also a tie game here. Gru still has the wizard, and he's going to get the ball in theory. So we think advantage grabbers, but we'll
I'll
see.
say. I love Gru. I think he's a great guy. I think he's really good at Blood Bowl. But watching him play just makes me fall asleep.
It can sometimes. I mean, high TV Blood Bowl with Simeon is probably something that 99.9% of coaches on Fumble have literally no experience with. I couldn't tell you how to play them. I couldn't tell you how he has been so damn successful with them overall. But sometimes maybe you just need to do a little more thinking, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, she's texting me.
Oh.
This, I didn't think the game was gonna take 2 hours plus tax.
I mean, if you need to dip out and do what you got to do, then it's okay. I'll hold down the fort.
Yeah, because it's suspicious.
As far as I know,
So XCON,
go ahead.
what do you think is going to happen in this game?
An
Like, who's gonna win?
incredibly slow push by the grabbers. Wog's gonna try a few things, but he's not gonna really commit to playing a double column or going all out for the ball. And he's gonna get caught in the middle, and Gru's gonna bonk a few guys off the field. He might wizard somebody just for the hell of it, and eventually he'll score on turn 8.
Yeah,
That's my prediction. I know that Nomad and Dash, I believe, are still watching, and they're hoping that that doesn't happen. They could both use a loss by the grabbers here to help their cause.
Yeah.
Although I suppose Dash may be in a little bit of a weird situation because he's probably gunning for a wild card at this point. So Carolina winning also doesn't help him.
Oh boy, with perfect defense too.
Not again.
Yeah. All right, I got a dip because she's gonna be real mad if I'm late. Like real mad.
Fair
God
enough,
damn.
man.
Hey, have a good one, XCon, and I'll see you in the wild cards.
Maybe. See you, dude.
Peace.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Dash. You're supposed to set aside 90 minutes. In my head, I'm always like, oh, it'll take an hour because I think I'm a relatively quick player, but NBFL specifically tends to go long. You need Gru to win. Okay. I mean, it's tough though because Gru and Nomad are both fighting for the division, and one of them's going to win it, most likely, but the other will likely also be a wild card. And the problem is the AFC South is similar to where either Nelfine or Wog is going to win it, and the other is still very likely to get a wild card. So I'm not sure which result helps you more technically. I don't know if Simeon are going to be allowed in the NBFL in Blood Bowl 2020. I do wonder if it's a race I would do better with than Frogs. I think they fit my style more. I'm certainly used to having some Strength 4 players like Sorai. Extra Arms is very nice, and they have some cheap fodder to screen with, which is a decent change for some teams that I'm used to, like Dark Elves, but I don't know. I always wonder with Simeon, they seem like a team that should be fouling fairly decent. You could have some Mighty Blow on the Gorillas and the Silverback But you have such cheap linos and you have all that grab, it seems like it's a pretty good tool to get an early numbers advantage. Granted, neither Gru or myself is overly fond of fouling, it seems, so I don't know. We'll see what Wog decides to do here. He could blitz through Mr. Poohbar up top and then get a couple elves around column 10 and 11 and start threatening the ball carrier. He's going to have to make a play somewhere in this drive. Mr. Poohbar will not be seeing the rest of the drive, except from the bench, and the KO box, rather. Oh, he's moving up to mark some people. Okay. A bold strategy, Cotton. It's true, I've kind of forgotten about sneaky get change. It seems pretty useful. I do wonder if, like, lizards, for example, I know people have pondered that they're going to be worse in the new rules, and overall I don't think they've changed that much. I mean, the start's going to be a little tougher. Rerolls, I think, are more expensive or something, but skinks with their very limited access pool just take a shot at a random skill. You can get catch, which is useful for handoffs and all that fun stuff. Sprint or sidestep. Love sidestep on skinks. It's probably the best skill. Diving tackle certainly doesn't hurt. Leap is useless. But sneaky get was always there to be taken. It's just not very ideal, perhaps. But that's in Blood Bowl 2016. In Blood Bowl 2020, perhaps, maybe a sneaky get skink would be worth it. Wog doesn't want to complete the double column with Vin Riddick, and I don't blame him. But I'm not sure this plan works either. You're like half-heartedly doing a double column, half-heartedly pressing. I think you need to go into one or the other to maximize your chances. Random general skills. I have to look at the full list, but I imagine there'd be some pretty solid human and orc linos out there one day. Hopefully get like block, tackle, dauntless kind of build, but there'll just be gonna be some interesting ones for sure for really cheap. Oh. Double skull to double pow. But this is the problem with half-heartedly going in on some pressure. All you did was really give Gru some free blocks. And if he did have a dirty player, all of a sudden you have this useful lino in danger, this other useful lino in danger. I mean, you did happen to make Gru burn a reroll, but still not sure if the plan was worth it. Oh, don't worry, Wog. Flix didn't leave because he knew the outcome. He was trying to get a score of his own. Pretty formidable looking monkey bunker we got going on here. There is a pretty sizable gap at the bottom, though. I don't know if Groom missed that or he's trying to bait Wog into something, but Wog also doesn't have the right players down here to take advantage of it. It's just a huge gap right here at column 10, but guard right there, dodge sidestep on the ball carrier. So Wog doesn't make a risky move. Goes after poor Bobo. Bobo the Bonobo. Does leave a lino in contact, which is not ideal, but can't always get everyone free, I guess. Yeah, probably back everybody up here and double column again and wait your turn. Diving tackle has been relatively prevalent today. It's been used at least 4 times. Hasn't worked a couple, but when it does, it's nice. And now, because that failed dodge, got a gorilla tagging 2 people right here. And Amon's correct. If you do skull this block here with the other Bonobo, you definitely just eat it at this point. This is also an interesting matchup for elves because it's probably the only team you'll ever face that has more than 2 grab players, and so all your sidestep, which is a godsend against most teams, all of a sudden it's just not overly useful. And this is actually a very nice play here by Gru because you're setting up a chain potentially to move Mr. Moore into Broadnax, which you do beautifully. And it's going to be a 3-die, which is even better. Although I'd probably do something to make the ball more secure before finishing this block. But in Broadnax we trust. Doesn't get the guy down, unfortunately, but he also doesn't fail. I think we move down into little blood splat. We get a 2-die here. No knockdown though. I believe RJ Prince was Wog's first round pick this year, number 18-ish, if memory serves. Very useful utility lineman, block guard, mighty blow sidestep. Does have a casualty this game. It was actually the sploosh on the poor Bonobo. What's our play as Wog here? Still plenty of time left. You do have a block on the gorilla. He is a blodge stepper, but you have a couple players with tackle. You do technically have a block on this one as well, Mr. Still. Not sure I'd love committing to it, but if you can knock them down and perhaps even get rid of Mr. Still, he is AV7 and you will have Mighty Blow. Could certainly swing things in your advantage. I was actually going to suggest blitzing with Levi, because Mr. Mills doesn't have tackles, so not rolling a POW on Mr. Pants is actually not a good situation. Had to burn a reroll on some skulls. Mr. Riddick is going to blitz somebody. Is it Mr. Pants? Is it a Bonobo? It's a poor little Bonobo. Oh, and he's been killed too. Not a good day for the Bonobo so far. Good block on Mr. Still. Stun there is pretty nice. Now things have started to turn a little bit in Wog's favor. Would have been even better if he could have gotten a takedown of Mr. Pants, but took down Still for 2 turns, took out Bonobo for forever, really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 apes, 1 stun versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 11 elves so far. Could be a fireball coming in here. There's quite a few elves bunched up. I'm not sure it's worth it, and Gru decides it's not. Pretty nice to be this late in the game, still have that in the back pocket though. Broadneck's attempting to blitz, but of course rolls a 1. Gru contemplating a reroll, but it's probably not worth it. So most likely a conservative turn here as he attempts to cage up and maybe goes to support the gorilla up top and get a block. Not sure what Wog's going on about in the chat, but what else is new? So what do we do for Gru here? 1, 2, 3. Getting Garbers around, tagging both those players. Very nice. Get a shot on the witch, but nothing going. Welcome, Dutch. Also welcome to Amon, who joined earlier as well. Pretty simple turn there for Gru, not much going, but ball seems like it should be safe. May just have to let Wog make a decisive move and react to it at this point. Yep, Gru's still got the wizard. Wog's going to get a couple blocks here if he wants them. Are we blitzing with Riddick, or what are we doing here? Okay, we're blitzing next to the ball carrier. Interesting. Sidestep on the ball is not bad. Also sets up a block on Bobo for Vin Riddick. Could this be our 3rd Bonobo death of the game? Nope. Not really close. Gets a very fortunate POW on the Blodgestep Gorilla. I think we just stay put there. Things becoming harder and harder for Gru. Can he find a way to pull out a victory here with 4 turns to go? I think you have to be careful of not giving up the south, for example. You've got quite a few players up north. Don't want to give Gru an avenue. Gru stating he's going to have to change things up to finish this game out. We'll see what he has up his sleeve. Do apes wear sleeves? Doesn't seem like it, but Gru could be one of those weird gorillas, I suppose. We've officially started what would be the 4th quarter of this game. Elves have the number advantage. Gru's got 3 players down on the start of this turn. Does have the Wizards still, though. Both teams with 3 rerolls and Apothecary. Both teams looking for a victory to get ahead in the division race and keep pace in the wild card if it comes down to it. Probably won't be blitzing with Broadnax again based on what happened last turn, but surely he wouldn't roll another one. I do wonder where the... Well, there's our Blitz and Broadnax, and redeems himself with the POW, perhaps. I do wonder where the... I mean, hate's the wrong word, but why design this game to have bigs essentially have 2 negative traits? You know, they all come with something along the lines of wild animal, really stupid, bonehead, etc., etc. That's bad enough. But you also give them loner, and I understand some of them aren't the brightest creatures of the bunch, and Blood Bowl players in general are not always known to be super big brain. But it just feels so punishing for bigs to just be that bad sometimes, and they're so expensive. It seems like a shame that they couldn't be more of a important centerpiece, and instead they're seen as a liability. I don't think the game would be worse if bigs were like reliable or, God forbid, even good, but maybe I'm just not realizing something. They used to be so good. And what rule set, Amon? Because I remember LRB4 is as far back as I go, and I don't recall them too much. Block Pro? I mean... Decay? Okay. I mean, I think Tomb Guardians are a little special case because they don't have the Nega trait. But looks like Gru here. Ball is safe, but having to escape diving tackle. Did Wog just choose not to use diving tackle, or... I'm confused what just happened. Why would you not use it there? Okay. Well, whatever happened, Gru's got the ball safe. He's got a target downfield. Wog's going to have to make some decisions. Pretty nice to start with a POW there, though. And you can move Mills off the diving tackle, which is a nice play. I think we do have to blitz Mr. Garbers. As much as it pains me to say that as his former college coach. A rat ogre ball carrier. Interesting. I'm not sure that's the kind of player that would necessitate a nerf across the board for all bigs, but at least it's fun. Please, please blitz Garbers before you try to throw a block on this blodger. Or blitz Mr. Vin Riddick next to the ball, maybe? Nope, we're going to go for 2-die block on Mr. Still. I think that lineup was probably best left where he was. And we should probably take Levi and go tag Garbers. I mean, diving tackle still on him, but... Yeah, I'm not sure what this turn really accomplished for Wog. You blitz the Bonobo, and even if you take him down, I don't think you're brave enough to keep Vin Riddick next to the ball because he's going to get slammed by a gorilla. So you weren't going to tag the ball. You didn't blitz Garbers, who's in scoring range. You may knock down a gorilla. You could have potentially knocked down 2. We'll see. Maybe he wants to invite Gru to score so he has time to score himself to tie it up. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing too. Dash Gru's gonna take advantage of the low numbers here in the south. And yeah, Amon's asking why we wouldn't follow up with Frenzy there, and I think it just too many bad things could happen. You still had a 2-die, but you could get pushed into diving tackle, or you're leaving your team very empty at the bottom of the field. Two, three, four, 5. Looks like Dash calling for the Broadnax blitz on DJ Moore, I imagine. Yep. Well, I'll give Broadnax credit. When he's not rampaging around being angry, he's been very successful this game. Now we take our Bonobo, our orangutan, and our gorilla, and we make another cage down here, and all of a sudden we're getting close to scoring range. Probably smart to put the orangutan out in front instead of the Bonobo as well. Maybe 7 target in the back is much harder to target. I don't think we have a good block with Mr. Still, so he'll just have to stay put. Yeah, full guard around the cage is pretty nasty. I think here is Wagyu. Don't use stand firm. It doesn't overly... I mean, grab is fine. But you're inviting Gru to move this player away from your other two. He didn't, of course, but in case he goofed or something, you would have had those guys free. Yeah, Dash, that's very nice to have, even if you're low numbers and you don't have a lot of options for scoring. Having that turn 7 wizard to blast open a hole somewhere potentially is probably going to be the difference, whether it works or not. Vin Riddick struggling to take down the stand firm beast. Mr. Dipsy just gets a huge pal on a blotched up gorilla. Not the first time that's happened to Hot Pants. He gets stunned too. Okay, he's not really going to help the rest of the drive. Mr. Ethan getting a huge takedown of Still. Another stun. Okay, this makes it much harder. I think Wog needs to start using his numbers advantage and tying up as many gorillas and apes as possible. Mr. Peppers, for example, good mark. I was going to suggest Mr. McPain, but he's going to GFI and hit Broadnax, apparently, because that makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Where are we going with this? We should be using our resources to get out in front of this cage while blitzing Garbers, but are we taking a big swing here? What's going on? Oh wow, I think you appo that. It's a decent bonobo at least. Third one that could potentially pass away this game. It is an interesting question for Gru though, because that's a useful player, and well, never mind, it's over. Apothecary doesn't save him. I was going to say, do you use it to save him? Because he is rather expensive for a bonobo, but it is a nice extra scoring threat. And he just threw a 1-die block against Broadnax and took him down with a POW. Now we're blitzing Garbers. You want to blitz the orangutan on a 1-die? It is Wog, so nothing would surprise me. Why are you blitzing with the guy that doesn't have tackle? What? What is he... Also, why wouldn't you swing around? Not that it matters a ton. Okay, well that was a very confusing turn, but it went about as well as you could ever hope for. You stunned 2 gorillas, you killed a bonobo, you took down Broadnax on a 1-die. I mean, you didn't take down Mr. Garbers, but... Wow. Looks like Gru's going to step away here for a second. You have a few options, though, when he comes back. He could wizard this group of 4 elves. Not sure it's impactful enough to matter. I think you save it for the final turn because you're going to have to blast a hole through a Witch Elf or some kind of double stack down here. Strength 4, Blodge step out in front. You're going to have to use Mr. McPain or Benny to create a gap, most likely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could get Jones out to column 5. Put Benny here, column 6, tagging the witch so she can't sidestep next to the ball easily, although she could there. Nomad, I would agree with you about frogging Fred, except Fred's strength 4, so I think that's a coin flip. Is it not? Be a bold play for sure, and if it worked, it would drastically change things. Much easier to blitz, high likelihood of removal. No, it's strength. Because it's better against skinks, for example. That's why skinks and frog catchers, wood elf catchers, anything that's strength 2 is very vulnerable to it. If you remember, you may not remember because I don't think you were in the league at the time, but a couple seasons ago when Baz was playing Lizards, and it was the second or third season, and the team was really good on paper, but his TV had gotten up to a point where a lot of teams would get a wizard against him, and he was arguing that people should be using the zap on his skinks, but they used Fireball almost the entire season, and unfortunately for Baz, they would almost always like remove the ball carrier, another skink, a Saurus, and like, it was brutal. And it was a very difficult argument to make that people should be zapping you when everyone's fireballs were working. But in theory, zapping a strength 2 player is a very good way to go. Strength 4, not as much. That is an interesting play then, Nomad. Zapping Mills, taking the diving tackle off of Garbers, and then chucking the ball to the end zone. Aaron Jones is pretty adept at passing, so it's a very viable play. You would give Wog 2 turns to potentially score the tying run, I guess, which I hate using that term because baseball sucks, but at this point, I think that's your best play. Someone tried to frog a tree. That's ridiculous. Can that even work? Does it work on a 6? Yeah. Wow. Imagine the message you're sending though if that works. And then you take out the tree when he's a frog. The cojones it would take to do that. Just the shock the Wood Elf coach, or maybe Halfling coach, I suppose, would be in. May just throw him off his game. Who knows? Alright, so when Gru gets back, what is his plan? Are we zapping Mills? Are we fireballing this group? Are we using it somewhere else? Do we save it for next turn? Hard to say. Broadneck stands up on a 4, which is not ideal. Could blitz on a 2, though, which really doesn't help us. Pull a JR and win at the push-up button. Damn. What a shame that was. That was coming down to the wire in that semifinal. And it was going to be interesting to see if Tazalaran could have pulled that off. And obviously it created a very messy situation, but oh well. Yeah, we knew all these years Gru was a phony and he was getting advice from outside sources. You're not allowed to phone a friend, but he found a way, and now he's won like 5 Super Bowls because of it. That's true, Dash. You could do that. You could fireball Fred, who's AV7, so it's decent chance of working, and then you blitz DJ Moore with Broadnax, knock him down, and tie up all these players, although granted, 2 of them have dodge, but could move most of your forces down here for a screen. Although if you don't take Fred out or stun her, the jump up frenzy could surf somebody and create a gap. If you aren't cheating, you aren't trying. That's what they say. There's a documentary for each of the Super Bowl champions in the NFL where they interview like 3 to 4 players and go through the season and cover different events and plays and things. And the 1980 Raiders, Matt Millen was a rookie linebacker, and he tells a story about in the locker room there was a sign, and it says, rule number 1, cheating is encouraged. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. The original saying started in NASCAR. Well, that's unfortunate, and so is that for Broadnax. Doesn't use the wizard. Broadnax won't be helpful. I think saving the wizard for the final turn is the best call, but it's hard to say. Would have been tempting to zap the blitzer and go for the throw. You want to use McPain to blitz Fred. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you'd have to 2+ break tackle and 2+ GFI and get an assist to even 2 dice Abbott. Yeah, Wog could definitely get someone in scoring position. Certainly has a few free players to do it in the middle. The problem with Wog's setup is that he's also a little out of position to get people in range here. For like a double stack, for example. He's got so many resources committed to Broadnax for whatever reason he needed to 1-die him. You get Jones out here in the screen, you get McPain on the blitz. Ooh. Probably apothecary that. I guess I forgot that the sidestep be nullified by grab on the blitz, so very nice play by Gru. He's going to have to get this Bobo, this Bonobo named Bobo, out in front to complete the screen. And then I think... Do we want to dodge with Garbers this turn? You have the reroll available right now, assuming you don't fail a GFI here. Which you don't. Well, I suppose if you just, roll good enough, you don't have to worry about it. But that was a conundrum. Like, do you make Wog commit resources to knocking him down and he doesn't have tackle? But that discussion doesn't matter anymore. That was about as successful a turn as possible for Gru, so needless to say, those accusations of him calling somebody for strategy was probably true. Probably true. Now Wog doesn't have anyone really back to double column. Is Mr. Vin Riddick gonna make the play of his life? He's gonna go through about 20 tackle zones. He's got double guard on the ball carrier, who's a dodge sidestepper. And he didn't use the apothecary, which is interesting, but he may be saving it for a Riddick, I guess. But yeah, ball carrier does not have block, which could be impactful. And 2 of the places he could sidestep to would potentially put the ball out of bounds. And this is where I think Wog may have erred last turn by spending so many resources dealing with the cage here when the cage was going to have to be dealt with here the next turn. Does Vin Riddick come in from the bottom, maybe? Go for the 1 die? Well, no. Yeah, maybe a 1 die. I think that's better than going through the center here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think you GFI, and then you double GFI with Mills and make it difficult. And then we test our luck with Riddick. Although staying there is not bad. Because even if you double stack, he's just going to go through the thrower in theory. Okay, it's not bad. Well, comes down to the monster Vin Riddick making a play. Assuming DJ Moore doesn't do something to mess up the turn first. Okay, like that. I'm going to do a stomp emo, not because I want him to foul, but because this is like the important part of the game. Oh, he's going to go through the middle. Oh, rolls a 1. Wait, you're going to go through diving tackle into tackle zones? Interesting. I would have thought he would have come through the bottom at that point. I was going to say, I think you dodge here, and then I guess you blitz that player. I mean, it makes it tough, but there's a pretty good fireball target right there with those 3 players. Or do you zap Levi, blitz Riddick off? No, you want to block Riddick off with Bobo, and then blitz through Levi after frogging her. But if that doesn't work, you're not in a very good position. Not that the fireball is guaranteed to work either, but if you can get one of the 3 down, especially Levi or Vin, that'd be very helpful. Decisions, decisions, decisions. We'll see what Gru, champion of the frog and mayhaps champion of the people, decides to do. Also, yes, Dash pointing out in the chat that nobody got in scoring range for Wog, and the zap does not work. So clearly, he messed up not using it the previous turn. In hindsight, that was the wrong play to not frog the blitzer and send your... I don't remember what they're even called. Chimpanzee into the end zone for a pass. Well, we'll see what old Gru can do here. Do you throw... Well, what are options? We can probably easily 2-die Prince out the way, but if you don't get him, you're in trouble. Oh, okay. You had to use the reroll, but we get Riddick out the way. Sidestep negated by grab, which I forgot about for about the 4th time. We get a 1-die blitz on Levi with draft pick Benny LeMay. I'd almost consider setting him up for the assist and 2-dying with Aaron Jones and just going for the push. Any kind of push or pow or defender stumbles would probably do it, and it looks like Gru sees it, stops what he's doing, puts a smiley face in the chat. He must be watching this. He sees the spectators. And the new strategy works! Wow. Wrong spell. You think he should have gone for the fireball instead, Dash? Fireball for sure. Maybe, but that play gets easier with Levi being a frog instead of being a strength 3 witch. Only need to knock down one of the two. Maybe. I don't know how likely the knockdowns were on AV8 and AV7, but it's hard to say. I think yeah, 0 to 2 was enough. Yeah, that was the thing. You didn't have to have it work. It just would have made it easier. And DeGru just switched his setup because he should go back to having the stand firm and sidestep on the line. I mean, Wog has admitted in the game chat that he's not adept at one turns. And maybe Gru is taking that to heart, but perhaps he shouldn't be. Perhaps he shouldn't be. Wog could be using some form of Jedi mind trick. Okay, now we're back. We've got stand firm, sidestep, sidestep. Okay, I like this better. Yeah, I mean Vin Riddick doesn't have sidestep, but has all the other skills you may need. I mean, doesn't have dodge either. So, I mean, technically Vin Riddick is not like a great one-turn option. He is fast. He is strong, and he does have agility, but without built-in dodge, built-in catch, built-in sidestep, or like sure feet or sprint, he's actually not as easy as you may think. Okay, Levi does have Juggernaut and Dauntless, so going right at Broadnax could make sense. Did Gru have another sidestep? He did. He could have put Aaron Jones out there instead, but we'll see. Is this technically possible, though? Because we need to get Vin Riddick to column 10. And even if we Juggernaut blitz Broadnax, 1, 2. We're still pushing Vin Riddick only 2 squares at this rate. Also, I think he needs to fill in this gap. But we're going to have to push him 1 more square somehow. Levi's going to die on a failed Dauntless. It's possible. It is certainly possible. I did call for one of these two players, Broadnax or Levi, to die before the game is over during the contest, so it is only fitting that it's going to come down to Levi blitzing Broadnax to decide the game. I think the way Wog is trying it right now won't work, but this is also why I would recommend having some wrestle on the team. You could wrestle down Hot Pants, for example. You could get around, fill in these squares around Garbers, perhaps, or something, but Dutch isn't wrong. You could definitely frenzy one of these bonobos to the line of scrimmage to make it easier, but I'm still not sure I see how that would work. Let's say we blitz Pooh Bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the angle would be a bit weird, but it's a tactic that MRT has definitely done before. I think Baz has a story about it where he sets up like this and he's like, oh, this is going to work. It's going to be great. I think the rest of the guys are a sidestep or something, and MRT frenzies the player on this column close to the line of scrimmage and chains off of it somehow. Yeah, the second which is out, which doesn't help, but I'm not sure that changed things based on the double sidestep stand firm line of scrimmage. But yeah, I see what you're saying. If you could frenzy a bow close and then have the other witch block it in somehow. You'd have to like come around behind Poobar from the northwest, push him directly right twice, and then have the other witch northeast of that, push him down and something. Well, we're just going to get a riot and turn the clock back after all this, probably. Or pitch invasion. Which takes out the player who we were going to juggernaut. And takes out most of the back line. In other circumstances, this would be very interesting, but I'm not sure Log's going to be able to pull this off. That helps, though. Looks like we're going to try to block the sidestep from Garbers. Question is how we're going to get into this spot here. Especially since it's marked by diving tackle. Just roll sixes, I guess. Or use your blitz somewhere? I don't think that's the right play. Oh, okay. We did have to use dodge. And we just need a 5, which we get with the reroll. But -2 die. Wrestle this down. Ending all hopes and dreams for Carolina tying this game. Except that wrestle is canceled by Juggernaut. Actually, yeah, that was one of the rare cases where Frenzy didn't help. Alas, that is it. Green Baynana survives a game they were, tested the entire way through, but they emerged with the win 2-1 over Carolina. Green Baynana would lead the division still after this game, and Carolina still in contention with the ATL for the South, so a lot of games left to be played, especially this week. Quite a few unplayed so far, but long season to go, boys. We'll see you next time.